everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm acrylic artist Joni Young. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to paint this water lily scene. So stay tuned. I'll list all the colors and brushes and the size canvas I'm using in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with others. Thanks! An 11 by 14 stretch double primed canvas, I'm using a medium sized round brush and light purple violet by Holbein. A little bit of water, and I just applied the horizon very close up to the top, and I'm just scumbling little patches of color in. Now I'm picking up some titanium white, and I'm going to soften and tone it a little bit. And I'm taking, with a small mop brush, turquoise and white. I'm just making soft little circles and sort of scumbling around. And I'm going to add a little bit of that color in the background for the little trees and bushes. So tapping and then very lightly and softly blending it together. I don't want to cover up all of the purple, but I want to go over part of it and create a different shade. It'll be more of a blue purpley color. So most of our color is going to be in the middle portion and the top of the painting. That's where it's going to be the boldest and brightest. And down here on the lower part of the canvas, it's going to be softer. So just using a large blending brush with a little bit of water and pulling soft strokes. Now I'm taking light purple violet and cadmium red, mixing the two together, and getting a nice amount on the tip of my brush. Now I'm going to pull in the horizon line to make it darker, and then turn my brush to the side and tap in a few little trees. So this is just impressionistic and very free style of painting, so I'm not trying to make these trees look real. So just tapping and then pulling more cadmium red in here. Just a few little lines back and forth. And the other side. Same color. Now I'm picking up a little bit more of the cadmium red, less of the purple, and just tapping again for some more trees. I don't want to bring the red down too far. I want most of the red and those really bold colors to be in the background. Now taking a little bit of cadmium yellow and the red, I tapped in the center at the top, and then I picked up some neon green and a little bit of phthalo green too. Now when it mixes in with the red, I'll get a little bit of a muddier tone, and I want to keep that because I want to have a nice balance with all the other colors. Need to have some earth tones and some grays in there. So I'm letting the paint work out of my brush and creating little lily pads. Now it's a good thing to keep in mind when painting lily pads, they're not round. Many people paint them as a perfectly round shape, but they're only going to be really round if you're painting them from an aerial perspective, which means looking down on them from above. So for this perspective, they're going to be more oval shaped. So I'm making a pretty little pink kind of a tone with neon red by Holbein and titanium white. And I'm just going to tap in a little bit more of the cadmium red inside those trees and a little bit on the horizon. Now I've got phthalo green. I'm making my darkest color. So here we go, phthalo green, cadmium red. So I recommend doing this instead of using black paint. It's just way nicer. I rarely use black paint. And you could also just mix the light purple violet with the phthalo green too. That works. And I've got a little bit of turquoise that I've mixed up on my brush with the red and the phthalo green to get this muddy sort of a tone. And then I picked up more turquoise right here and I just started dabbing it in between those red trees. And a little bit in the water. Now with a small mop brush and straight light purple violet by Holbein, I'm just tapping in and then softly working and swirling it out of my brush. While this paint is wet, I'm taking a damp, not dripping wet, large blending brush and softly pulling it across the canvas to give it a kind of a blurry look to it. That helps make it look like it's far away. And then more neon red. I think out of all the colors, well, out of all the Holbein for sure, neon red has got to be my favorite. I just love using it. I try to incorporate it in almost every painting. And a little bit more green. So I've got neon green and phthalo green. Dabbing a little bit in the background there. So these colors really play on each other. I love using complementary colors. Now back here I was trying to go for a little bit of some trees, but the height wasn't working, so I took it off and kept it flat. Now I just want to give this another swipe or sweep with my brush, make it look a little bit blurrier. And some titanium white and more neon red. I just dabbed and wiggled it on with the corner of the brush, and then I'm pulling very softly. And a little bit more of the titanium white, up and down and side to side and back and forth. Some more cadmium red and light purple violet. And I've got a clean brush now with neon orange and white. And I took a little bit more white now, and I just want to blend that around in the center at the top of the canvas for the sky. Now I've got a mixture of cadmium yellow and neon red on my brush. Just dabbing very lightly, little hints of lily pads way back there and the light hitting them. A little bit more of that phthalo green for some more depth. And scumbling softly for some bushes way back there. And just a little suggestion of some shadows and reflection from those trees back there. I'm gonna carefully outline and add some shadows to some of the lily pads. And some more cadmium yellow and neon red with a clean brush. Back to more neon red. And I'm going to start dabbing in where I want to add some flowers. Neon red and cadmium yellow for this. I'm not using any water on my brush. And then I'm going to go under with a little bit of a shadow with that phthalo and purple violet. Little contrasting shadows here and there. And I'm not trying too hard to make everything look real like a photograph. This is all about little dabs, all about light and color and shadow. And maybe some of these lilies will have a stem coming out of the water. Using the edge of my brush and some cadmium yellow, I just tap in, almost like slice in for the little petals, and then picking up some neon green. Just dabbing and pulling, adding that color there. It looks so pretty next to the red and the purple. So I'm just going to continue to work on these lily pads, adding bits of green here and there. Now just straight titanium white. I discovered this is a really easy and quick way to paint flowers. Just tapping with the end of my brush like that. I'm going to work on adding some more of the lily pads, just a big group of little lily pads on the bottom right corner here. Some white and some yellow. And outlining, need some contrast and shadow. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I'm going to be doing a Q&A video where I'll be answering all your questions. So let me know. You can ask me anything you want, and I'll do my best to answer them for you guys. Just softening with a little bit of neon yellow and white right there. And adding a little bit of light blue violet. So many of you guys have been messaging me and sending me pictures of the paintings you're doing from my tutorials, and I just want to say it means so much to me, you guys. Thank you so much. It inspires me and motivates me to want to keep making more videos. So just adding more light shadow and color to these little lily pads. I want it to look like they're overlapping slightly. I think what I really love most about working on this piece is the neon red and the heat and temperature that it brings to this piece. I'm definitely going to be experimenting more in the future with using this neon red as well as the purple. I like the two colors together, and just that pop of turquoise really brought this to life. I hope I'm inspiring you guys to try new colors and get out of your comfort zone. So I'm just dabbing for the small flowers that are way back in the distance there to help create that perspective to make it look like they're far away. I'm just dabbing little blobs of color. Yellow, red, white. You can see, like through this video, I'm mostly using this small square flat brush. So you don't need a lot of brushes for this painting. Just adding a little bit more of that neon red, slightly watered down, and then some purple on the bottom left corner. I want to have a little bit more depth down there and shadow. Then a little bit more neon yellow and white to create that nice light right there. I think I've just about finished this one. Just gonna add a few more details here and there. So here I've got neon red and light purple violet, a little bit watered down and a little bit of white in there. And then that phthalo green mixed in. I want those trees way back there to be a little bit more in shadow. So add more cadmium red right there on the left and the right side of those trees. And then some phthalo green. And I've got my liner brush now, so I'm just doing a few little details. I can make little skinny edges and flicks for highlights on those lily pads. And then I can try a little bit of highlighting a few of these petals on the flowers. I think I prefer to use the flat brush for the flower petals though. And some more dabs of red and cadmium yellow. I just want to add a little bit of the light blue violet for another shadow color. And that's Golden Acrylics, the brand that I'm using for that one. So a lot of you guys ask the brand of paints that I use, and I don't really stick with just one. It depends what colors. So for my neons, it's strictly whole bean. I've tried other neon brands, but whole bean is the best that I've found. And then I also like to use Grumbacher, Winsor & Newton, Galleria, and of course Golden Acrylics. I've just found that over the years, experimenting with paints, you really get what you pay for, and I like to use the best quality of paint. So I'm just softening the sky and those trees back there a little bit, and I'm going to add a little bit more green for more of a complementary contrast back here. It's looking a little bit black. I know it's not black because I used phthalo green and the light purple violet and cadmium red, but it's kind of looking black anyways, so I want to make sure there's a bit more green in there. Thanks so much for watching today, you guys. I hope you really liked this one. Let me know what you think and comment below. See you next time, everyone.